Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? Holy cow! A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Start your engines!
And good evening and welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, on another wonderful Sunday evening here for the Sunday Night Showdown series. Just getting ready to get things going here in just a moment, and a lot on the line here tonight for these drivers, and some of them in the championship hunt will have more on the line that they will have to deal with. The intensity level definitely going to be picking up. I'm Oscar Jensen, joined by Jacob Zala here, calling your race tonight. And Jacob Zala, these four drivers that we'll look at in just a second, they've been probably the most dominating drivers this season so far, and are now going to begin their hunt for the championship trophy and try and get Ree Schaefer off of that high horse.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard to do here, especially with Ree Schaefer winning the last couple of races. This guy has been on fire as of late, and he will look to continue that tonight here at Kansas Speedway. Although, this isn't like your usual NASCAR Championship 4. This isn't a one-race round. This is a 3-race round to set the champion. It's going to be a lot of action here in these final 3 races to see who will be crowned the Sunday Night Showdown champion.
And you see those 4 drivers here on your screen: Reese Schaefer, Justin Levine, Joseph Causey, and Derek Garrison. Those 4 drivers gonna begin that hunt, like Jacob said. Not just one round or one race, it's one round with 3 races. So tonight kicks off at Kansas Speedway. Let's go ahead and go down our starting grid. On the pole will be Reese Hamilton. To his outside will be Joseph Causey, one of those championship contenders. Jason Miz and Derek Garrison will make up row number 2. Row number 3 will be Bryce Shoemaker and Reese Schaefer to his outside. Row number 4 will be Jordan Berry and Justin Day. Row number 5 will head back to Aaron Kay and Jim Foskett. Row number 6 will be Keith Shoemaker and Justin Levine. And then rounding out the field in row number 7 will be Kyle Peacock. Go ahead and take a look at our weather for tonight. Currently 88 degrees out south, having heavy winds of 60 miles an hour. I almost didn't believe that for a second. Clear skies though, and track temp 112. So very windy, very hot track, Jacob, and that's going to introduce some issues for some of these drivers.
Yeah, and we saw it with one of the races we had earlier in the last round, where we had those high winds and it made the truck very hard to handle. So I'm looking to see if we're going to get that again tonight, which it seems like we will. But that's just going to play into the fun of the race. Watching the race here, these trucks will be a lot to handle for these drivers. But I'm sure they'll get it done, and we will have a great race here at Kansas Speedway.
And I agree with everything there. It will definitely be a great race, and the race length being 134 laps tonight. 205 miles stage is going to be at the end of lap 60. Then the final stage is going to be made up of 74 laps. Pit road speed 45 miles an hour. These drivers have 4 sets of tires behind the wall to change. And then our estimated fuel window is about 39 to 43 laps. And they do have a fast repair, although I don't think we'll be seeing them have to rely on it like we saw last week at Talladega. Pace truck pulling down to pit road. Reese Hamilton getting ready to lead these guys to the green flag. We're off and racing here from Kansas Speedway.
Down the back straightaway here, these trucks all still side by side. Nobody giving an inch here already into turn 3 and 4.
That's Schaefer in that black and white 17 truck trying to give a bit of a bump there to Hamilton. Might have gotten him a bit out of shape there as well. Through turns 1 and 2, and now he's going to look to make it 3 wide, maybe now sliding in front of Justin Day off of turn 2 and give the race lead to Joseph Causey.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of the draft here tonight play a factor, especially with these trucks at Kansas. The draft is going to be more dependent on these trucks. So if you want to be a contender, you want to stay in the draft early, as now we see Reese Hamilton try and go around the inside of Reese Schaefer to try and take that spot away. And it's going to be a lot of this 2x2 style racing here in Kansas that you're not really used to seeing at a track like this.
And this track is very wide, a lot of grooves to work with, and you know, you work up more towards that wall and it causes a little bit more of a danger issue because there's a certain limit, as looks like Jason Miz.
Justin Day hard into the wall, and that is going to be unfortunate for him. We are going to get a caution, as I believe Jim Foskett is now sliding around in turn number 1. So we've had multiple incidents here, probably due to the fact of the reenaction to Justin Day's incident.
And I was just going to say that high side can be pretty intense, and if you get close to it, you'll get up into that wall and cause issues. But another issue would be that front straightaway, which you see there's an apron that you can use to kind of help you out, maybe shortcut the track a little bit, and it looks like that kind of is what happened there. We'll take a look at it in a second, but early incidents here for Justin Day, Jim Foskett, and some others.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Justin Day, he took the brunt of the damage, so looks like he will be using a fast repair already, and you know, not something you want to do on lap 5 or you've had to tow. I don't even know if you can bring that thing around.
Well, let's take a look at this incident here and see what exactly happened. So racing Jason Miz above and in. Looks like they just kind of got together in the middle there.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing much.
Yeah, we'll have to take another look at it here.
Miz kind of came off the wall there, and it just kind of got the 24 at the end. Oh, and then he got Jim Foskett as well. Luckily, he was able to correct Jim Foskett for him, so Jim Foskett was able to save it and not get any damage from that.
Yeah, like you said, thankfully Jim was able to hang on to it and didn't really receive a lot of damage. Definitely going to hurt those tires a bit, but didn't hit that wall. And I think Miz might have been expecting Justin Day to go below the apron, and Justin Day wasn't planning to, and they kind of opened the door for Miz to make that turn down the front straightaway, trying to make a cut. And fortunately, like you said, not only got Justin Day, but also got Jim Foskett there at the end.
Yeah, Justin Day again taking the brunt of the damage, so he will have to use a fast repair. He towed, I believe, so that's also going to hurt him. Going to put him a couple laps down as well. And Jim was, luckily Jim got saved by Miz tapping him, so he's fine. His truck is fine, no damage on that thing. He'll get it back going and continue his race. Just a couple racing incidents there, I believe. Nothing really too crazy. I mean, it is lap 5, so, you know, I agree with what you said there, though. That definitely looked like Miz was anticipating him to go to the bottom, and he just wasn't there. He was closer than he thought.
And this track's so difficult to try and manage as is, and you throw another place for these drivers to use and maybe try and gain an advantage, and it just throws all that into a bigger mess. But how about the front now? Derek Garrison is going to lead these guys to the green flag. Hamilton lost a few spots there on the initial start. Going to restart second here, and then Joseph Kazi restarting fourth right there as well. Aaron Kay in third on that bottom lane. So these guys going to probably be a little bit more careful this time on this restart. Still early in this race, as we've only got 7 laps in the book. We'll see what they decide to do here, though. Working themselves off of turn number 4 into the restart zone. Green flag, we're back racing again here from Kansas. A great restart by Derek on the inside, and able to put a little bit of a gap between him and the rest of the field behind him as they come off of turns 1 and 2, heading into 3 and 4. That's Kazi on the high side.
Kazi on the high side, trying to get a run around Aaron Kay. Aaron Kay doing a nice job so far, as Kazi's going to go to the bottom side, and Kay is going to use the top. And we'll see if Kay can get the pass done. He will. Oh, he hit the wall a little bit there. That's going to get him loose, and now Kazi's going to go back down to the bottom. But look who decides to show his face. here side by side with Reese Schaefer, the 19 of Justin Levine. A little 2-for-1 action right there. He just passed Kay and Schaefer in one turn.
Coming from the rear of the field and trying to make some early statements is this 19 truck of Justin Levine. Slots himself into the 4th position, like Jacob said, getting a 2-for-1, and now gonna try and work on Joseph Kazi in front of him. Back behind him, Bryce Shoemaker, Aaron Kay, side by side, off to 4 for position number 6. Aaron Kay getting a little bit of the wall there a few moments ago, trying to rebound from that little bit of an incident that he had. Now trying to utilize this middle lane, but Bryce Shoemaker able to get a good run and slide himself in front of the 37. So Bryce Shoemaker to 6th, Aaron Kay back to 7th for the time being.
Yeah, and Aaron Kay has lost a lot of spots after that wall hit. Probably not giving him too much damage, but he definitely lost some spots. He's going to lose another spot, most likely a couple spots here. He's falling way back, so not what you want to see out of the 37 truck, but I'm sure there's still a long race to go. He's got a lot of time to figure things out. Side by side with Jordan Berry and Jason Miz with Aaron Kay. Jordan Berry gets the pass, and Miz looking to complete the pass as well.
Miz being involved in that incident at the start of this race about 5-6 laps to go, and trying to rebound from that. He's going to take a look to the inside of Jordan Berry down the front straightaway here, not able to get a really decent run built up. We'll see what he can do in 1 and 2. He's going to try and slide in front of Berry, and will he be able to complete it? Yes, he will. So Miz up to 7th position. Jordan Berry now going to have a full mirror of Aaron Kay, as well as Peacock and Foskett behind him.
Yeah, these guys are racing hard here for only lap 13. You think maybe some of these guys want to save tire, but they are racing hard, and it is great to watch. These guys race hard on lap 14 without, wrecking each other. We had that one wreck with Jason Miz, but other than that, it's been a great race so far as we're looking on board with Kyle Peacock, a newcomer to the series. Haven't seen him, at least in my tenure here at Sunday Night Showdown, so great to watch him out on the track.
Yeah, Peacock with, I believe, his first start on the season here tonight at Kansas. Hasn't been in this series, I don't think, maybe in either a while or at all. So looking to make a good first impression, and people who are looking to have a good night would be the 54 Bryce Shoemaker, running a little bit higher line here, trying to be one of the first guys up to maybe work in that high side. Schaefer behind him following in suit, but Kazi, Garrison, and Levine in front of him are definitely going to be a challenge to try and pass.
Yeah, those guys are not going to let you pass easily, as now Kazi getting chased down by Shoemaker. Shoemaker's going to have to find a way around him because, again, like I said, Kazi will not make it easy for him. As now Levine looking to take the lead, wasn't able to do it there, but he's going to look for a line to try and get around the 23 of Derek Garrison.
It looked like he might have had to check up and maybe just kind of hit the wall with the right rear bit there that last lap. And that's a really big thing that these drivers will have to watch out for, as there's a little bit of contact right behind him between Shoemaker and Kazi. These trucks are very aero pushy when you get directly behind somebody, and I think we just saw that with Levine when he got into Derek Garrison's line behind him. But the contact between Shoemaker and Kazi, now putting Kazi in a vulnerable position here. He's going to try and defend off Reese Schaefer and Reese Hamilton, who are kind of working around the inside of him.
Yeah, and Reese Schaefer looking to make up some spots. Hasn't really done much this race, as he's going to go to the inside, and it's going to be a little bit harder to pass on the inside with the older tires. But Reese Schaefer looking to get it done here. He won't be able to. He's going to stick right behind Kazi, as they're almost 3 wide behind him, with Kyle Hamilton and Jason Miz, it was almost 3 wide. They're not anymore, but Kyle Peacock on a charge, looking to get some more spots. Now he puts pressure on Hamilton for 6th place.
He's going to try and slide up, lost the front end just a little bit. Now he has to go back to work to try and get around Jason Miz in front, who is Mays had a good run there after able to get to the back bumper of Reese Hamilton. Didn't make a move to the inside or outside, just kind of held his momentum and fell back behind, and that's going to allow Peacock to take another shot here in turns 1 and 2. See if maybe he decides to try and drive it in deep again. Oh, Peacock using that outside, almost got into the wall there to get to the outside of Jason Miz. Miz gave him plenty of room there, though, when he noticed that Peacock was going to be to his outside, and now Peacock trying to gain another spot and move forward just a little bit further up through the field.
Now, one thing I'm wondering here, it's lap 20 out of lap 60 to our stage. 40 laps to go in this stage, about 40-ish laps to go, 39. I'm wondering when these guys are going to start thinking about pit stops, because you can only make it about 41 laps. These guys just might be able to make it, but if you can't, when would you stop?
And that's the big question. When are these teams going to try and tell their driver to either start saving fuel or run hard and maybe try and split this first stage? Although it looks like a lot of these drivers aren't really saving too much. A driver that might be saving that we usually expect would be the 17 of Reese Schaefer back here, currently in 5th, about a second back behind the leaders. But you know, Jacob, you don't want to save too much and then put yourself in a bad position for these guys who might come down pit road. But you also don't know that. I mean, like you said, that's the big question, is what are these teams planning on doing here in this first stage? Thankfully, I don't get paid to have to worry about that, because that would probably hurt my brain a little bit more than I would want, as we see Levine dive to the inside of Shoemaker. But these championship drivers definitely have to focus on that a lot more than maybe some of these guys who aren't having as much to worry about. As you see, Shoemaker now trying to dive to the inside of Levine again. So, Jacob, that's a real big question, and I don't know if I have a good answer.
Yeah, I don't either. It's going to be a fascinating sight to watch, as these guys, Levine and Shoemaker, are just throwing crossovers at each other. I've been watching them for the past couple laps now, and they've just been throwing haymakers left and right at each other as Shoemaker's into the wall, so that's going to lose him a spot or two. That is unfortunate for him, but it was fun to watch those guys throw some haymakers lefts and rights at each other. But now Justin Levine going to go back to the point and go in and attack Derek Garrison. Put some pressure on that 23 truck. He hasn't really had much pressure on him tonight. Levine's looking to do that all over the back bumper.
Side by side into turns 3 and 4. Levine has the advantage just a bit, and now he'll be able to clear up. So new race leader, give it to Justin Levine there, and he's going to try and drive away from the 23 of Derek Garrison as they head across the start-finish line. And I think Shoemaker also hit the wall again there, so Shoemaker having more issues with this outside wall, able to hang on to this 5th position. But Levine top spot at lap 26. Not really surprised by this move, because if you notice on the pylon, not only is Levine up there, but his other championship competitors are up there as well, holding positions 1 through 4.
Yeah, and those championship drivers are showing out tonight. Again, it's still early, but these guys are showing why they deserve to be in the championship round here in the Sunday Night Showdown series. 1 through 4. This seems like we had a little bump. Maybe not. But with that being said, Kyle Peacock is going to slot in, was going to slot in between Jordan Berry and Jason Miz. Now he's going to, and try and continue on his day.
Oh, a little bit of a wall right there for Peacock, and I think Peacock got to the inside of Hamilton there, just got tight and had to lift off heavily and lost some of those positions that he's working up on. But right now, just trying to hang on to 8th position as Jordan Berry fighting hard on the inside. Peacock has the advantage off of 2, heading downs into turns 3 and 4, and Peacock looking really good here early on. Again, having his first start on the season, just trying to make a good first impression with these drivers here tonight.
Yeah, he is, and he's doing a good job of that so far. As we continue on, Levine, Causey, Garrison, Schaefer, your top 4. Shoemaker in 5th. Shoemaker able to get his issue solved for the moment, as he bobbled there a little bit, but able to get his trouble solved for now, as Garrison is now losing some spots. He just went from 2nd to 3rd, and now Schaefer's putting pressure on him as well. So Garrison falling back a little bit.
Yeah, Garrison having a little bit of handling issues, I think, on that race truck. I think he's battling a little bit of tightness there. And he's got a mirror full of Reese Schaefer here, who's going to get to the inside of him off of 2, side by side, down the back straightaway, heading into turns 3 and 4. Once again here, we'll see if Schaefer can get the advantage, but he doesn't have a whole lot of time to try and make this pass, because here comes Bryce Shoemaker in the 54 right behind him with a good momentum and a little bit of contact right there.
Good job on them for saving it right there. Good job on Garrison with the car control to save it. Had a little bit of contact with Reese Schaefer. That allowed Schaefer to get around him and clear him for the spot. Now Shoemaker on the top side looking to get that spot away. And unfortunately for Garrison, that was a nice save, but he lost a couple spots out of it. I'm sure he's not happy with that right now, as Shoemaker was in the wall there. Shoemaker having a lot of issues getting into that wall.
Yeah, and that's going to cost them not only the spot to Derek Garrison, but maybe a spot to Reese Hamilton as well. And he's looked really fast running this high side. He's been able to run some pretty decent lap times, but like you said, Jacob, issues with staying off that outside wall, and that's not going to be good for your race. Not only is it going to slow you down and cost you positions, but it could also give you damage if you hit it at the wrong angle.
Yeah, and that damage will hurt him, especially at a track like this. So he's going to have to try and keep his truck off that wall for the rest of this race, unless he wants to use a fast repair early. But now we're going to see the 3-Sif Causey to the top side. He's going to try and chase down Justin Levine. He wants to take the lead. To the inside he goes. Into turns 3 and 4. Can he do it? It's going to be a hard pass, but he's going to make it work and take the lead from Justin Levine.
Levine tried to throttle up and stay even with him, but wasn't able to keep in it. Had to lift off, and that allowed Causey to hammer down and get the race lead away. Now Levine trying to use that high side like he saw Causey do just a lap ago, but he's got Reese Schaefer looking to the inside here off of turn 2, trying to use that bottom lane is Schaefer, who is really good at really not using his tires up early in these runs. And just as I say that now, maybe a little bit of contact with the outside wall as he's get pressured from Derek Garrison.
Yeah, that outside is making these drivers struggle a little bit. Once these drivers go to that outside, they tend to catch the wall. I've noticed a lot of drivers do it. Shoemaker's done it. Schaefer just did it there. So that outside, not really working too well for these drivers at the moment as they continue to hit that wall and put some paint on the fence, as now Garrison is going to try and down Justin Levine for the second spot.
Playoff drivers 1, 2, 3, 4 here at Kansas Speedway. Lap 36 of 134. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick commercial break here. You guys won't miss a thing though. We'll be side by side under the commercial. This is a Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series.
isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air.
Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down.
The after-catcher will count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory, this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag has been identified.
Does he have enough? Holy cow, baby! A dominant performance. You gotta say no, baby. Let's go! Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
Welcome back into the Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series, live from Kansas Speedway. Derek Garrison deciding to come down pit road just a few moments ago. He's the first car to come down pit road from this lead pack of 4 drivers, and we are wondering what it was going to be like fuel-wise and if these guys are going to try and play some sort of strategy. And well, Garrison answered the question there. And now we'll have to see what these drivers decide to do up front, those being Kazi, Schaefer, and Levine. And I'm a little surprised that they aren't coming down. And now I say that, and now Kazi going to come down pit road pretty hot right there, hopefully not speeding. We've seen him have some issues on pit road here this season, but looks like he was able to get slowed down right there.
Yeah, now you wonder, is there anyone else that is going to pit here? Reese Schaefer just saw the 3 truck go down. We know Reese likes to run it long. So will Reese go down pit road or will he stay out? As Justin Levine is also going to have to make a call here as well. Do these drivers think that they can make it to the end of the stage or not? We'll see. Justin Levine with a hard hit to the wall there. Hopefully it didn't give him any damage. Doesn't look like it did. It does continue.
Yeah, I wonder if that right front might be a little struggling with some grip there, because it looks like he's had some issues off the exit there, which, you know, would probably happen with the way that these trucks are set up and how they handle. But it could just have been some sort of driver error as well, because it looks like he had a decent turns 3 and 4 right there. So not quite sure what was going on there, but like you said, it doesn't look like there's any real significant damage to that right side.
Yeah, it didn't look like a lot as he hits the wall again. He is pinning the fence with that truck. You know what I think he's doing? I think he's trying to knock the fence down. It's just not working for him. But no, for realistic sake, Justin having some issues with that truck, and it is showing big time.
Well, you know, sometimes this racetrack, even though it's wide right now, it doesn't usually mean that there isn't more space that these drivers would like to have. So, like you pointed out, Levine might be just wanting an extra inch or two, but doesn't seem to be working out for him right now, as Derek Garrison trying to work through some of this slower traffic and trying to get his lap back after coming down pit road a few laps ago.
Yeah, and Garrison making his way through the field pretty quickly. Gonna try and get his lap back the hard way past Reese Schaefer on track, as he's not too far away from Levine and Schaefer. So he'll be able to get his lap back here, but what will it be for these two trucks up front? Are they gonna stay out and make it on fuel? Whereas Justin's coming in. So Justin Levine is going to pit, and that'll leave Reese Schaefer, the lone wolf of the Championship 4, out on the track, and he is not going to pit.
And you know, it was pretty much just a matter of time for Levine, I'd say. I mean, he was having issues with that wall, that outside wall still, especially off the exits, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see Reese maybe stay out another couple of laps. But Levine definitely not wanting to risk it too much. And as I say that now, Schaefer going to work himself onto pit road here. So Championship 4 drivers have made their scheduled pit stop here before we see that stage caution at lap 60, or at the end of lap 60. And Garrison should come out just a bit in front of these guys who have stayed out a little bit longer. We'll have to see how far out ahead he does get, though.
Yeah, and that answers our question. I guess nobody could make it on field at the end of the stage, so all the drivers coming in. Derek Garrison will be our theoretical leader once he gets around these two trucks in front of him. There's one truck in front of him, the 9 of Jason Miz. So for now, Garrison is our leader at this point.
Yeah, and Jason Miz pitted about 10 laps before Garrison, so Miz showing to be the leader right now, but you see how big of a tire difference it is right here, as now Garrison taking a look to the inside for the race lead, and that should move Garrison to the top spot if he's able to clear. Yes, he is. Now Miz going to be shuffled back to second, then you have to go back about 6 seconds to Joseph Kazi, who is the next driver of that first pack before these pit stops started, and he's got some time to make up, but I think he should have enough time to be able to catch Garrison with those pit sequences working themselves out still, although not, definitely not wanting to be this far back after a pit cycle.
Yeah, I think Derek Garrison did a great job there with the pit strategy call. He is going to take the lead for now. Bozzy's still got some trucks in front of him to catch, and I think he's not going to be able to get it done in time for the stage, because the stage is lap 60. It's not far away from these drivers. So Garrison doing a great job there with the pit call. Keep putting himself in the lead, and we'll see if Kazi can make it up in time. If not, Garrison will win the stage and get some very much needed stage points.
Well, we say stage points, but I don't believe they actually count for the Championship 4 drivers, if I'm correct, but still having the clean air and the advantage out front, I mean, that can be huge, especially on a restart. Not only did he put some trucks in between him and his competition, he's got the clean air, and that will always be a big factor and a huge advantage to be able to not have to deal with that dirty air, especially in these trucks that are really known to be a difficult handling sort of vehicle to be behind someone in.
Yeah, and these guys doing a great job so far, and I've seen someone ask what is the point difference. There is no point difference at the moment. Everything reset here tonight in the Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series. So points are reset at 5,000 apiece, and there's 3 races to crown a champion here tonight as these drivers are looking to do so. Garrison to the point, Miz in second, Hamilton third, K fourth, and Peacock fifth. Right now, depending on pit strategy, we'll see if any of our other playoff drivers get up to the top 5. But Garrison, a great pit strategy to be able to get himself a stage win. Again, you said stage points don't count, I believe, and I'm sure that's correct. I was not sure of that. So even though they don't count, a much needed stage win for Derek Garrison, nonetheless.
And one driver who stage points will help is the 4 truck of Reese Hamilton back here in second, as well as Jason Miz in third if they're able to hang on to position. And we talked about the new driver, Kyle Peacock, trying to put on a statement, and he's moved himself into 4th position after those green flag pit stops. So shout out to Kyle Peacock here, just kind of clicking off some more spots as these laps continue to wind down.
Yeah, and that's great to see a newcomer get the position he needs, get up to 4th place. So props to him for sticking with it, getting that pit strategy, and doing what he's got to do to get some points here in the Sunday Night Showdown Series.
Derek Garrison just having a couple more laps to be able to get himself a stage win. Again, those stage points will not count for him. The big picture is pretty much either finishing ahead of your competition or just getting the win in general. Like we mentioned, there's 3 races in this final round: Kansas, Martinsville, and then rounding out the season finale at Homestead. So it's not your typical championship kind of format, which, you know, Jacob, it makes it a little bit more interesting, and I don't know if it would be more difficult to just have 3 races or 1 race. These formats that we see in so many different leagues and so many different series, I mean, it's just interesting to how these drivers can handle and manage it in such a way, and Garrison doing a great job at that right now.
Yeah, and I prefer the 3-race round, the 1 round 3 races. It allows for some of these drivers to go out there, hey, let's say one driver gets into a wreck, he's got 2 races to try and be able to get those points back and win the championship. So I prefer the way it is here in the Sunday Night Showdown Series, and it makes for a great racing and a great battle for the championship as Garrison crosses the line for the stage. Again, stage points don't count for him, but a much needed stage win at that for the 23 truck.
And we'll get the caution here in just a moment. Once the 10th truck crosses the start-finish line, that'll go to Jim Foskett. So now, getting the caution out for the end of this first stage, and this second stage is really going to put a lot on these drivers, especially those championship drivers. Reese Schaefer finishing in 11th at the end of that stage. Justin Levine right behind him in 12th. So those drivers losing a lot of ground after those green flag pit stops.
Yeah, and unfortunately their strategies they thought might work did not. But now that puts it into their head. Now they know for the next run to the final pit stop, hey, we might have to pit earlier than we thought we would because we didn't gain a lot of spots there pitting late. So now the strategy is kind of in their head, and I think they will make a better pit strategy call in the later half of this race.
More than likely going to see the field to come down pit road here, as I don't think anybody would really be in position to stay out here. We do have 4 sets of tires. They've already used at least 2, so having 2 more for the rest of this race. Derek Garrison going to lead this field onto pit road. Oh, a little bit of a love bump right there from Garrison to Hamilton for a second.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was interesting. I don't know if maybe Garrison slowed down too much, or maybe Hamilton didn't slow down enough, but a little bit of a tap there. No damage to those trucks, so that was unexpected.
Garrison coming down to get his service here. We'll see if he can remain the leader coming off of pit road.
He is going to easily beat out Reese Hamilton for the first spot. Oh,
I believe it was close.
Did he speed though? He might have sped on pit road. He's given up spot. I think he sped on pit road. Oh no.
I don't see any indication right now that he's sped, but definitely dropping back. So this could be a huge issue for this 23 truck of Derek Garrison.
Yeah, there was a penalty, end of the line penalty somewhere, because he dropped back quick. Or did he? I don't know. There's something going on with that 23 truck, I think. I don't know, I'm confused. This is the first time I think I've ever been confused. I don't know if he's slowing down for a technical issue or if he's got an end of the line penalty here.
It looks like there is a black flag, I believe, although I don't see any. So we're going to go with he had either a speeding penalty on coming onto pit road or exiting pit road, and now that'll cycle him back to the field, and that'll give Reese Hamilton the race lead, and then Kyle Peacock will be to his inside on this restart.
Yeah, so a huge mistake there for a championship 4 driver. You know, you don't want to have those types of mistakes happen, especially in this round. But again, like I said, there is still a lot of laps left and 2 races to go in the championship round. So he's going to have to make up his mistake really quick here.
Working through turns 3 and 4 before we get the green flag once again. Reese Hamilton looking to lead here in his first couple of laps at tonight's race. Again, Peacock to his inside, Shoemaker behind, Kazi as well. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again, and a good restart there by Reese Hamilton. Able to put distance between him and Kyle Peacock on that inside lane as they head through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, and Joseph Kazi was trying to get around him, but he is stuck right behind the 83 truck of Peacock as they go down the back straightaway. These trucks roaring down that back straightaway at Kansas Speedway, and Hamilton will continue to lead. As now Shoemaker on the outside, but you know, we've seen Shoemaker make this charge before and fall right off. So if this might be deja vu, if you say he might do the same thing again. I don't wish that on him. We want him to do well, but the stars are aligning for deja vu moment here.
And now Joseph Kazi going to be the first of those championship 4 drivers. Garrison trying to work his way up through the field a little bit further back, able to get into 7th position, but Kazi leading the way here for those championship 4 drivers, trying to work on 2nd place driver of Bryce Shoemaker as they head down into turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway now, but he's got a mirror full of Kyle Peacock right behind him as well, so not a lot of room to work with behind him. Kyle Peacock still trying to put some more positions behind him as he's currently running in that 4th spot.
Yeah, and Causey looking to find a way around Bryce Shoemaker. He was going to try and go to the bottom. Shoemaker blocks to the bottom. Now Causey has to let out of the throttle and try and find another way around Shoemaker. So Shoemaker doing his best Ryan Newman impression right now. He doesn't want anyone to pass him. He wants to go forward. So he's going to continue on. Now Causey looking to the outside, trying to find the clean air. Any air of clean he can find. He's trying, but he will not get there at the moment as he's going to continue and run behind him using that outside.
And that's got to be so frustrating from inside the car if you're Joseph Causey. You know you might be a little bit quicker than that 54 Bryce Shoemaker, who has had repeated issues in this race so far with that outside wall. But when you get behind someone, you get that dirty air on your front nose and you just lose all control of that front end, as you see Peacock diving down into the inside beneath him, trying to complete the pass, and he might have to lift a little bit. Looks like he got tight there, still remaining side by side off of turn 2, and Causey now able to take that 3rd spot away once again, trying to continue to hold off Peacock, who is putting a lot of pressure on Causey here for this 3rd position though.
Yeah, this is some great racing between these two drivers. Action all over the place, as Joseph Causey now will run 3rd, as he's going to try and hunt down Shoemaker again. Hamilton getting caught by Shoemaker, so Hamilton losing a little bit of time. But these guys are working hard for their positions, and they want to keep going forward. Peacock going to try and dive into the inside, peeking on that inside quarter panel of Joseph Causey. Not going to do anything though, and continue running forward.
A little further back, Derek Garrison trying to work through some of these guys back here. Still sitting in that 7th position, but he's got Jim Foskett to the outside, Aaron Kay behind him. And then Jordan Berry might have hit the wall just a little bit there in front of him. And again, this is all because of that pit road mishap coming under that caution. And now he has to work through this field and try and catch up to those guys in front of him, and as well trying to take that race lead back away from where he was sitting in that 1st stage for a while.
Yeah, 2 drivers that have really fallen off the pace, Reece Schaefer and Justin Levine. Those guys are about 6 seconds back from the leader, so they were leading this race, and their pit strategy did not work for them, and now they're just sitting 6 seconds back here in 11th and 10th and 11th. So we're going to see if these guys can find a way to get back up there through a pit strategy call or something. I know these guys are already crafted in their head a pit strategy to try and get back to the front, but for now, they sit 10th and 11th.
Now, I want to ask you, Jacob, do you think there is any strategy being worked out between those the 17 team and the 19 team, maybe trying to take a little bit less fuel or tire on the last pit stop on the night? Or do you think it could just be because they're a little bit further behind and maybe trying to just not burn their tires up this time?
That's what it could be too. It could also be that as well. I think they're trying to save their tires a little bit, not run them as hard. But it's going to be a lot harder to get to the front with how much time they've lost. So there's going to be a little bit of pit strategy involved for them to try and get back up front as well.
Derek Garrison able to clear himself for that 6th position after getting around Jordan Berry and holding off Jim Foskett. He's got some ground to make up on the 9 truck of Jason Miz ahead of him. And then Kyle Peacock still continuing to hold strong in that 4th position. Out front, though, Reese Hamilton with the top spot. Joseph Kazi in second. Bryce Shoemaker in that third spot. And we're seeing Shoemaker in this 54 truck using that high side again. Trying to maybe be mistake-free this time, though. He had a few incidents in that first stage with that outside wall, and we thought he'd be quick if he was able to keep it off that outside wall, and right now, he's doing just what he needs to do.
Yeah, he is doing a great job, you know, learning from his mistakes from the first half of this race, using that outside now, not hitting the wall. So a great job for him, but Kyle Peacock is hungry. He is charging on that inside lane, side by side down the front straightaway. And Peacock is going to look to take the third spot away from Shoemaker. Can he get it done into the turns 1 and 2?
He's clear for the moment. We'll see if he decides to take it. Yes, he will. Oh, maybe a little bit of a wall tap there when trying to slide up in front of him. And that's going to allow Bryce Shoemaker to take a look back into the inside as they head into turns 3 and 4. And Shoemaker trying to clear, not quite clear though, and that's going to open up the door for Peacock to get a good run down this front straightaway. We'll see if he can use it in 1 and 2 and maybe clear the 54 again. But you don't want to hit that outside wall like we saw Peacock do that last lap. You need to be able to stay off that wall if you're going to complete the pass, and this time it looks like he's going to do just that.
Yeah, great job by Peacock to get to the point as he's going to shoot it onto the inside. Down in front of Joseph Kazi, side by side. Peacock going to try and make a move for the lead. It looked like for a second, but he is going to try and take the second spot away from Kazi. Not going to be able to do it. And now Kazi to the outside of Hamilton.
Three-way battle for the race lead. Kazi with the advantage as they come off of turn 2. Hamilton slots into second. Peacock now taking a look to the inside. We'll see what he can do here for this second spot. Now Peacock able to clear up in front of Hamilton. So Hamilton gonna lose 2 spots out last lap to Kazi and Peacock. Peacock continuing to move himself forward here in tonight's race. He's going to go to work on the back bumper of Joseph Kazi, using that outside lane and trying to build a good run for 2.
Yeah, and he's going to use that outside lane, get a run, and now he's going to look to the bottom, and his truck has been wrapping the bottom very well in these turns 3 and 4, and he is going to go to the point and lead here at Kansas Speedway for a moment. A crossover by Joseph Kazi. He's going to use the apron and take the lead back from Kyle Peacock.
Peacock, though, taking another look to the inside, and like you pointed out, able to wrap that bottom side really good. Not able to get the run right there, so he's going to have to go back in line and try and get another run built up as Peacock remaining even with Kazi right there. Hamilton losing a little bit of time behind him. He got the wall just a bit. And Jacob, we're going to be coming up on pit stops here in about 15 to 20 laps. So you think maybe these drivers know that and are going to try and push a little bit harder here?
Yeah, I do. I think these guys are pushing harder than they were before the first stage. Again, we had the stage at lap 60. We're on lap 84. These trucks can go 41 to 43 laps on a tank of fuel. So they're racing a little bit harder, especially knowing that they have to pit coming up in about 15, 20 laps. So I'm watching it. I want to see who comes down first, who makes that strategy call first to go down pit road. Maybe we see some early strategies. But still, there's still time for these guys to run out some laps before they have to pit.
So plenty of time for these guys to try and battle it out here. Peacock took a moment there and almost had the lead over to Kazi. Kazi fighting back low and able to retake that lead. And now Garrison working on 4th place of Bryce Shoemaker, and he's going to be able to clear himself right there. So Garrison after those pit road issues, up to 4th place.
Yeah, he is on a hunt. He wants to get back to the top spot where he was earlier. He's been doing a great job getting through this field. Now on a very, very good charge out of that 23 truck. Found some life in it again. He is going to look to chase down these top 3.
Going on board with the Toyota Racing onboard camera and running around with Bryce Shoemaker, and you can just see how many grooves there are. Garrison in front using a lower line, Shoemaker using the higher line, and you can see the speed difference through the corners is just a bit different, and then once they get off onto the exit of the turn, it really starts to show. And now those top 3 trucks all using the high side in front of them. So Garrison, the only driver using that lower line, as those top 3 use the high side in 1 and 2 right there. You got to be careful though. You don't want to hit that outside wall and get sucked into it.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen Shoemaker do it earlier. We've seen some other drivers do it earlier. But while we were on the onboard with Bryce Shoemaker, Joseph Causey took the lead back from Kyle Peacock, and now Peacock under attack from Reese Hamilton. Hamilton to the very, very high side. Some may call that the Larson line, as he is going to try and get some momentum to go to the bottom, and he is going to take the bottom and go try and get around Peacock. Side by side through turns 3 and 4, and he is going to clear Peacock and go back to 2nd for the moment.
Barely able to slide in front of Peacock right here. He's got it though, and now Peacock gonna have to hold off Garrison behind him, who takes a look to the inside. He's under hard pressure there from Garrison, who has been a little bit quicker these last couple of laps. We'll take a look at it here, that last lap time. I mean, you can see how much quicker Garrison was there. Faster than the 3 trucks in front of him, now trying to put that speed to use and get around Kyle Peacock.
Yeah, he is going to go to the inside, side by side in turns 1 and 2. Peacock loses that spot. Garrison, no, he got it. It almost looked like he wasn't going to get it, but Garrison did get that spot. So now Garrison up to 3rd, now looking to hunt down Hamilton and Causey, as that 23 truck has been on rails tonight, and he has proven it all night long why he deserves to win this race.
And with this racing, that's kind of allowed Justin Levine and Reese Schaefer to make up a little bit of time. Not a lot of time, but they have made up a few seconds as Hamilton now hits that outside wall coming off of turn 2 right there. So Levine and Schaefer still trying to rebound from their strategy at the end of that first stage. A little bit further back, have some ground to make up before the end of this race, but still plenty of racing left to go.
Yeah, a lot of racing left to go here at Kansas Speedway. Lap 93 of 134. Garrison on the attack, as he did a great job saving his tires as well, as now he is right there, right on the tail end of Reese Hamilton. Hamilton goes to the high side to try and get some momentum off of turn 3 and 4 to maybe stop Garrison's attack, but it's going to be very, very short-lived because Garrison has been on a charge.
Oh, Hamilton up against the wall just a little bit there again. And Shoemaker as well back behind him. And Shoemaker's night continuing just to not beat outside wall. They haven't really built a trustful relationship between car and track. So Shoemaker, unfortunately, as quick as he looks, he's just got to continue to work on staying off of that outside wall. Garrison finally able to build a good run, looking to the inside of Reese Hamilton. Side by side through the turns 1 and 2. maybe momentum to Garrison as Hamilton hits an outside wall, and now Garrison with the advantage. Peacock right behind trying to follow as well.
Yeah, and Peacock is going to take advantage of Reese Hamilton hitting the wall there. Side by side out of 4. Can he get anything done? He can't. Squeezed a little bit by Hamilton, but did a great job of not getting into him. And now Peacock going to go under attack again, try and get that 3rd spot away from Reese Hamilton. One thing I will say, you know who's sneaking up through the field? That 19 truck, Justin Levine. He's sneaking his way up through the field. Remember, they were 10th and 11th. Levine's up to 6th.
Yeah, he's worked his way up here these past couple of laps. Again, still trying to close down that gap and that distance from that strategy, and able to get it under 5 seconds now. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if he can get to Kazi and Garrison before the end of this race. Definitely a little bit quicker, with saving maybe a little bit more tire than those guys up front. Is Shoemaker going to come down pit road here? So with the amount of laps that we have left, it's going to be a nail biter up until the end.
Yeah, I think you were right. I think those two were trying to save a little bit of tire because, man, they have been fast. They have shot out of a cannon recently as of late. So I think these guys were saving a little bit of tire back there. 6 seconds back, 10th and 11th. And now here they are, 5th and 6th, and they are making a run through the field as we continue on. Reese Hamilton and Kyle Peacock battling. Peacock able to get around Hamilton for 3rd place. But again, there's some drivers behind him that are very quick and can make a run through the field.
Garrison with a little bit of a wall tap right there off of 2. Again, seeing a lot of these drivers really struggle off that turn 2 exit with trying to keep it off the wall. Just such a tight corner to work with, not a whole lot of room to work with when exiting. So no damage for the 20s. Definitely going to have to be careful, especially as these long runs continue to build up and those tires start to wear more and more. He doesn't want to lose any more positions, so I'm sure he's going to try and be a little bit more cautious here under this green flag stop, because the last thing you want to do is have another issue on pit road and put yourself out of contention for the race win.
Yeah, and Garrison made a quick run through that field, but kind of stalled out here. Ozzy able to keep him pinned a little bit and not able to make a pass on Joseph Causey like he thought he might, as now he gets a little bit of a run down the back straightaway, but there Garrison stalling out a little bit at the moment.
And these drivers should be pitting in the next handful of laps. I'd expect in the next 5 to maybe 6 just laps we will see almost everybody come down pit road. It's definitely going to be a little bit of an interesting thing to watch for Levine and Schaefer. See how long they can go on that set of fuel strategy / tire strategy that they have going. Now under 4 seconds for both those drivers. So we'll have to see when these top 4 drivers come down pit road.
Yeah, and again, I wonder if these trucks in the 19 and 17 realize their mistake from last time and are going to pit earlier than they did in the last run. But now, Levine and Schaefer, 4th and 5th, they are hunting down these top 3 quickly. And they are showing why. You know, we thought maybe they were taking a fuel strategy play, something like that, as Causey's in, Garrison's in, Peacock is in. Now Schaefer and Levine gonna go to the lead, 1st and 2nd.
Looks like both those drivers got on the pit road nice and clean. Reese Hamilton in that Ford truck pitted a few laps before these two, so that's why he's not up there. And again, no issues. You don't need to make any of those issues coming off of pit road. You had a nice clean entry on the pit road, and we'll see how these drivers come off of pit road here as they're going to complete their service on the 23 truck.
Yeah, they're going to get their service, and they are going to go. They are gone. Look, Causey with the lead, Garrison in second. But now you got to remember, you cannot leave the apron yet until the back straightaway. Don't want to make a mistake and get yourself a black flag there. As these trucks continue, and they are going to get down the back straightaway fine, and Causey is going to be ahead of Derek Garrison.
So Levine and Schaefer continuing to stay out. They have yet to come down pit road. Aaron K, Jordan Berry as well still have to come down pit road. Then that would complete our pit cycle, but 5 cars currently on the lead lap for the time being. Now Schaefer and Levine working down pit road, and almost a scary moment there for Levine.
Yeah, had a bit of a bobble, able to keep it clean, and Schaefer as well, giving him a little nudge, giving him another nudge. I think Schaefer is just giving him a little bit of friendly nudges there on pit road as they get into their boxes for this pit stop.
I wonder if Levine might have been out of fuel a little bit there, or sputtering. That might have been why. I'm not positive though. But they are calling it pretty close on fuel.
Yeah, they were calling it close there. So that could be the case as well. As Shoemaker now takes the lead, but he has pitted way early, and Joseph Causey is going to be quick here. He's going to be on a quick, I assume, and Causey will be our race leader. But there's still a little bit of time in between them. So for now, Shoemaker takes the lead, and Causey will try and hunt him down.
Well, pit cycle is completed here. Justin Day 2 laps down. Not having the night that he probably wanted, but Bryce Shoemaker able to lead some laps up here at the front right now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take our second and final commercial break here from Kansas Speedway with this Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series. You guys won't miss a thing. We'll be side by side the whole way through.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out.
Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag has been ended.
Does he have enough? Holy cow! A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you
A total 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
Muted. And welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday Night Showdown Truck Series here from Kansas Speedway. Currently leading the way is Joseph Cossie after those green flag cycle of pit stops in. Derek Garrison just now getting around Bryce Shoemaker for that second spot, and with 20 laps to go, it's going to be close between Cossie and Garrison. We'll see what Garrison can do. Cossie been able to have the clean air, and Garrison pitting the same lap that Joseph Cossie did, not having a huge advantage behind with tires. So it's going to come down to which driver can get through either lap traffic the best or make the best out of their tires.
Yeah, there's 19 laps to go, so you want to move on quick here as the laps are going to count down even quicker. But Derek Garrison, unfortunately, just doesn't have the clean air, and that's kind of what you want. If you're Joseph Cossie, you're really in the catbird seat right now, especially with having the clean air. So, clean air a big factor in these mile-and-a-half races. As we watch Garrison try to do everything he can to catch Joseph Cossie, and even if he can catch him, it's a matter of, can you pass him?
And that is a good thing to put on, is if he can catch him, can he pass him? That's always a difficult thing to try and do, especially at a track like this. And with our second shot here, you see Levine and Schaefer battling here for the 6th position. And remember, those two on a little bit different strategy for these past couple of stops. And right now, they're just trying to close that gap down from 6 seconds to hopefully be able to catch up to the competition.
Yeah, I thought maybe they would learn from their mistakes about taking a little bit of a later pit strategy, but I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work out for these drivers. Again, 6 seconds back is a lot of time to make up in 16 laps. So we'll see if they can get it done. If not, you're going to start to question their pit strategy calls tonight a little bit. Maybe their team is going to question their calls, but if they can get it done, everyone's happy in their camp.
And those two of Levine and Schaefer always, I feel like, have something up their sleeve. So still 15 laps to go to try and make something happen, as Shoemaker right ahead of them, having a little bit of a moment there off for 2, right behind Reese Hamilton, who almost hit the wall. So Shoemaker being out there a little bit longer with those those older tires compared to the rest of the guys who came down a little bit later, having those handling issues now coming to effect. And Shoemaker still with a solid 5th place run right now, although he'll have some hungry guys behind him to try and hold off.
Yeah, there are some guys that want to get a win here tonight. We haven't really had a chance at a win yet. I just don't know if they'll be able to get it done. As you look at that, Justin Levine and Reese Schaefer already closing the door to Bryce Shoemaker. These two trucks, the later pit strategy, but they are making quick work of these trucks, and they are right on the back bumper almost. Not yet, but they are really, really close to Bryce Shoemaker. And they are going to look to make a pass, make it easy on both these trucks of Bryce Shoemaker and Reese Hamilton.
Let's look at the lap time that they ran. I mean, it's that last time by the 36 or 32.6 for both of those drivers of Levine and Schaefer. Then Kazi out front and Garrison right there behind, running 32.9 and 32.8. So they are a little bit quicker than those top two drivers, and then quicker than the guys in front of them, Peacock, Hamilton, and Shoemaker. So they definitely have speed in those race trucks. It's just going to be a matter of, can they have enough time to try and make use of it?
Yeah, and Shoemaker tried to shut the door on the bottom of Justin Levine there in turns 3 and 4. Wasn't quite able to get it done, and Levine did a very nice pass. Squeezed his way through, and Schaefer is going to follow right behind him. So now that's one pass these two trucks needed to make done. And now they are going to try and go on and get Reese Hamilton. And after Hamilton, they have about 2 seconds up the road, Kyle Peacock.
Kyle Peacock running in that 3rd position right now, holding strong off to a really good night so far. We'll see if he can capitalize on it and finish off in 3rd place. Derek Garrison in 2nd, closing down a little bit on Joseph Kazi these last couple of laps, but not really making too much of a dent in it, as these two are going to come around to 9 laps to go this time by. And, well, Jacob, Garrison has a shot here, but it's going to be tough to try and catch him the longer this run goes on.
Yeah, that clean air for Joseph Kazi is going to work in his favor with 9 laps to go. Garrison's going to catch him. But again, it's not a matter of catching. Can he pass him? The gap about 8/10 right now to Joseph Kazi. 7/10 as we go through turns 3 and 4. Derek Garrison. He has proven why he wants to win this race tonight. His truck has been on fire all night long. So will he get it done with 8 laps to go? We'll see. Time will tell. But it's going to be a tough pass.
And right behind them, Justin Levine and Reese Schaefer able to get around Reese Hamilton for that 4th and 5th position. And they're going to set their eyes on that 83 of Kyle Peacock right in front of them. And I'm not sure if they'll be able to close down that gap to Garrison and Kazi. Probably will be able to catch Peacock, but it might be too little too late for that 19 and 17 truck.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. I think their pit strategy call is just a little too late, but these guys working their way through, gonna try and do everything they can, get as many spots as they can. But Joseph Kazi, your leader, and Garrison on a charge. Gap now down to about 0.6 of a second here, as Garrison is closing the door on Joseph Kazi with 6 laps to go. This is where you want to be if you're Derek Garrison. 6 laps to go. Closing in the door, 0.4 of a second. He is catching quick. But again, we've said it all night long. In these last 20 laps or so, it's not a matter of if you can catch him. It's a matter about if you can catch him and can you pass him. That is going to be the name of the game with 6 laps to go.
And they might have a slow truck of Justin Day to deal with. Not quite sure if they'll actually catch him, but he is right in front of them, and that could also pose an issue. But Garrison closing that gap down another bit right there that last lap, trying to use all the racetrack that he can, just trying to get a shot at the back bumper of Joseph Kazi to try and get the race win here.
He's trying to do everything he can, but that dirty air is not fun when you're behind a truck. It's going to make you tighter than you thought you were going to be, as Derek Garrison is using every lane he can that Joseph Causey is not to find clean air, because that dirty air does not like the truck. So, I mean, Garrison doing a great job of that, finding any line he can. But now he's going to follow Causey, which might hurt him a little bit. Through turns 3 and 4, Causey leading with 3 to go.
3 laps to go. Garrison trying to get it all out of the race truck, trying to use everything that he can and everything that he's learned from this race so far. Causey using the high side that last set of turns. Garrison running a little bit lower. Coming around to 2 laps to go this time by. They're going to both go to the bottom of the track. Garrison might need to try and use the high side in 3 and 4 to get some clean air. Still, though, running right in tow with Joseph Causey.
Yeah, and Causey leading with 2 laps to go, doing a great job. Going to use the high side. Garrison to the bottom. Will Garrison be able to get a run off turn 2? Not going to get a big run off turn 2. He's going to be about 4/10 back. Now he's going to go to the bottom, and they're both going to the bottom. I think, like you said, Garrison needs to go to that top side in turns 3 and 4 to do anything, but white flag is out here at Kansas Speedway. Causey, your leader.
One more shot for Derek Garrison to get to the back bumper of Joseph Causey. He sends it in deep there, closing in just a little bit more. Causey trying to hang on down the back straightaway. They have one final set of turns. What can Derek Garrison do? He's going to try and send it in deep, trying to use all the racetrack that he can, but it's not going to be enough, because out of turn number 4, Joseph Causey is going to come home and take the checkered flag here at Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, and a great drive by Joseph Causey to get the win, and being able to hold off Derek Garrison. What a great race from these drivers. We had 1 caution for incident this race. That was on lap 5, Jason Miz. And I can't remember who the other truck was, but Jason Miz having an incident. And that was about it. Joseph Causey, though, able to win the race tonight and burn it down, as we are 2 races away from crowning a champion. Causey winning this race a little closer to that championship.
He's going to go ahead and burn it down. Able to hold off a late, hard charging Derek Garrison, who just was so close but didn't have enough time. And boy, what a way to start off the first race in the round of 4.
And he's going to give the crowd a show. A nice straight line burnout from that 3 truck of Joseph Causey. You know, one thing I think he'd say is he definitely learned this race from Greg Biffle. Greg Biffle taught him everything he knows with that 3 truck, running a tribute to Greg Biffle after the passing, unfortunately, of that very great man. What a win tonight by that 3 truck of Joseph Causey.
And he's going to go ahead and park it on the start-finish line, and we'll be able to take a moment and speak with him once he gets in here. Then we can hear from our race winner. Let's go get ahead and get Joseph Causey in here. Congrats, Joseph Causey, on the race win here at Kansas Speedway tonight. You're able to hold off a late, hard charging Derek Garrison there at the very end in the last few laps. Is there any sort of kind of thought that went through your mind, thinking that that 23 truck might get to your back bumper? Or did you think that you probably had it in the books there?
I was getting to think he was going to get to me because I did go pretty hard there when we got the tires, so I can cover some distance. So I didn't have him on me and like stay onto me by the draft. So when he started reeling me in, I was like, okay, I'm gonna. My plan was to stay at the bottom through the whole time until he got close enough to where I thought, all right, I'll go to my bread and butter, and I'm gonna go high side 1 and 2, and I should be able to pull the run enough to where he won't. It's gonna minimize the the length that he was catching me at.
Yeah, and you were able to do that, and then also, just I know dirty air is also such a big thing to try and get, use in that race truck and trying to impede those drivers behind you. And for a lot of the night, I mean, you were either up in clean air up at the front, or you're right there with the top 3 to top 5 drivers. And what a drive to be able to put on, what a show to be able to do as well. And you're going to start off the round of 4 with the win. And now I know there's still 2 races left, being Martinsville and Homestead, our season finale. But when you look forward to those 2 races, what are your expectations heading into those 2? And is there really anything that you really might need to put your eyes on with these last 2 races coming up?
Yeah, we need to just stay the course and make some good finishes and not have happen what happened at the half end or in the middle of the season, because my season went to hell and high water, and we need to keep this momentum moving forward.
Well, I like to hear that. And coming off the strong win tonight, before I let you go, is there any sponsors you'd like to thank or any shouts you'd like to give?
Thanks. Shout out to everybody who showed up. Great racing with Derek and everybody that was up there at the front. And shout out to the league. Shout out to the broadcast. Shout out to Jordan Berry from the Be Like Biff paint. Remembering Biff. And yeah, this was awesome and exciting. I was glad to, like I said, I was saying to my friends in there, King of Kansas has arrived. Let's go.
Well, Kazi, I always love to be able to speak with you. And again, congrats on the race win here tonight. Go celebrate, and we'll see you in these last 2 races and see if you can hold off the rest of the field.
All right, we're going to try. We'll give it up 110% on trying, making sure we get this done.
All right, Kazi. Thank you again, and we'll speak to you hopefully next week.
Yes, sir.
That was race winner Joseph Kazi, coming off a phenomenal last half of this race and able to capture the win here at Kansas Speedway tonight. Jacob Zala, I believe you're standing by with Kyle Peacock here on pit road. Let's go ahead and throw it over to you.
Yeah, and I got a newcomer to the Sunday Night Showdown series here with me tonight, Kyle Peacock, finishing 3rd place. Kyle, Kansas was a tough track tonight. How would you you were in contention all night long, though. What do you feel like? How did you feel like your night went overall?
Honestly, my night went a lot better than expected. Honestly, this is my first race. I kind of took like a 8-month break from iRacing. This is my first race in this truck since being back. So I really didn't know what to expect. I sped going through the pits after that first caution, and got sent to the back and kind of got to learn. I think I drove up to 3rd or 4th. Never quite had enough to get past Causey or to really compete with Derek, but it was fun, man. It was really fun learning the truck throughout the night.
Do you feel like you're in position to contend for the win, or was it more about maximizing the finish you had tonight? Because I mean, we saw you get through the field pretty quick, and then it just all kind of stalled out.
Yeah, I guess I just burnt up the tires, but I guess it was really about just getting what I could, just with learning the truck model and everything. But Yeah, and didn't quite have the speed for the win, unfortunately. Those Joseph Causey and Derek, they were fast, man. Like so fast.
Well, with that being said, I mean, like I said, you are a newcomer into the series. Are we going to see more of you racing out here? Are we going to see you back in the next 2 weeks?
Oh yeah,
Or
I'll
is
be
this
back.
kind of a one and done?
Yeah, I'll be back for the rest of the season, hopefully. As long as work or nothing else comes in the way.
Well, with that being said, it was a great finish from you tonight, a great race overall. I mean, can you give me a little more insight? How are you feeling after tonight?
Honestly, I'm sweating, like, because I don't know if I'm sure you guys were focusing on the Derek running down Joseph at the end there, but Justin Levine and whoever else was behind him, I guess they had a couple lap fresher tires and they were running us down, man. Like I think they got within a half second, coming over the finish line. So I was just sweating it out towards the end there, but it was a lot of fun, just learning how to manage the tire, kind of just backing up the corners a little bit, trying to arc the exit more, just to get the run down the front stretch and everything. But yeah, a lot of fun.
Well, heck yeah. I am glad to see that we have another guy willing to come back for the Sunday Night Showdown series. But before I let you go, Kyle, is there any sponsors or any friends you'd like to thank for your run here tonight or anything like that?
I just want to shout out Firestorm Racing and Bryce and everyone who helps put on the league, and you guys, for the broadcasting you guys do. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, Kyle, and hopefully we will see you back up in the booth next week. But congratulations on your third place finish tonight.
Thank you, man.
All right. And with that, I believe we will have Oscar with second place finisher Derek Garrison.
Yep, I'm here with Derek Garrison, who was able to come home in second. Had almost a shot there in those last couple of laps to try and make a move on Joseph Causey. Just weren't able to get it done and be able to maybe give him a shot at the finish for the race win. You were fast all night, had a little bit of a mishap on pit road there, though, and that kind of set you back, but able to quickly fight through it. What do you think you needed at the end there to maybe close down that car length or two to be able to maybe put yourself in contention to pass Joseph Causey?
No, really hard to say. Probably just a little bit more cleaner air, or should have been a little bit faster on a short run. Try to stay with them, but yeah, we just didn't have it there at the end there.
And you still maximized yourself and your finish out there tonight. And although it's gonna really come down to the next two races as to who is gonna be able to be crowned the champion because of how unique this format is. Still have some races ahead of you to look forward to, Martinsville and then Homestead as well. So carrying the momentum on through these next two races, I mean, what does that look like for you and your team these next couple of weeks?
Have no idea really. Martinsville, I like Martinsville. It's a pretty good racetrack. Hopefully we go in there and get some points. And Homestead, I've never really been good at Homestead, so we just have to take it 1 week at a time and just try to get all the points we can get.
Well, being able to make your second Championship 4 appearance, this time it's a little bit different. Derek, I love talking to you, and I love always being able to see you come home with the top 3 finish. Before I let you go, though, is there any other comments that you'd like to make, any shouts you'd like to give, or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thank y'all for the broadcast. Thank Bryce and all the other admins for putting on a good show. And yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, Derek. Congrats on the second place finish, and hopefully we'll be able to speak to you next week.
All right, thank you.
Well, that rounds out the top 3 for interviews, and Jacob, 2 of the top 4 drivers there finishing in the top 2 at the end. Schaefer and Levine finishing 4th and 5th, having a little bit more work cut out for them at the end there, but the top 4 championship drivers really all right there at the end.
Yeah, Reese Schaefer and Justin Levine's pit strategy didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to tonight, but still able to get at least top 5s for the both of them. I will say, it was great to see the 83 of Kyle Peacock finish 3rd. Newcomer to the series, you always like to see those guys, the newcomers, have great runs, so it was awesome to see him finish 3rd, but yeah, our top 4 are really close. So it's going to be 2 exciting races to the end of the season.
And those drivers, once again, being Joseph Kazi, Derek Garrison, Reese Schaefer, and Justin Levine. And points, I mean, it's a little bit set up a little bit different. It's going to be really hard to tell which one of these drivers is going to be the championship favorite until at least next week, possibly at the earliest. So make sure you guys tune in next week at Martinsville for that race, and it's going to be chaotic for sure. I mean, it's a short track race. Probably see some tempers flare like we usually do, but right now, these drivers hanging their heads high on tonight's finish.
Yeah, a great race from Kansas Speedway tonight. And, we saw a little bit of action early. It kind of settled down, and once it got going, the race went by as quick as it can be. In the blink of an eye, the race is over. So that was a great race from these drivers, and it always is in the Sunday Night Showdown series.
And while we're on the topic of a new driver, not only did Kyle Peacock get a really good finish of 3rd place, but he also got the Hard Charger Award that is presented by Wrapped by JB. So congrats to Kyle Peacock on that award tonight. Able to gain 10 positions out there under green flag conditions. So a really strong showing again from Kyle Peacock here at tonight's race. Looking forward to continuing that momentum on through these next couple of weeks. Like he said, hopefully he'll be able to show for them, because I think he could definitely be a contender out there.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I definitely think he could win some races maybe. Again, he said this is his first race in the truck in 8 months, so he's definitely got some ground to make up in the learning experience of the truck. But once he gets that nailed down, I definitely think he could be a contender to win some races in this series.
I agree with everything right there, and let's go ahead and look at our full race results here. Go down the rundown. Joseph Kazi, Derek Garrison, Kyle Peacock rounding out the top 3. Justin Levine, Reese Schaefer, your top 5. So all the 4 playoff drivers finishing inside the top 5. Then we go down to Reese Hamilton, Jordan Berry, Bryce Shoemaker, Jason Miz, and Aaron Kay rounding out the top 10.
In 11th, you have Keith Shoemaker. In 12th, you have the 47 of Jim Foskett. And rounding out the field, 1 lap down, Justin Day running 13th.
A tough night there for Justin Day. Definitely not what he was probably hoping for, and not having the season that he probably wants either, but continuing to try and put together some finishes and maybe have things go his way one of these weeks, just not having that luck that he needs this season. Now let's go ahead and talk about next week real quick. Martinsville Speedway, same time, same place here on Turn Sector Media. Jacob, I'm going to go ahead and make an early pick, and my pick is going to be, I'm going to go with the 17 of Reese Schaefer to be my winner.
That's not a bad pick. It is not a bad pick. I'm gonna go with our race winner tonight. I think our race winner tonight is gonna go back to back at Martinsville.
Yeah, I like that choice. I think both our choices are really good, and if they're able to survive Martinsville with a win, both of them definitely gonna be the ones to beat, probably heading into Homestead, although that's going to be a tough challenge, as all 4 of these drivers super deserving and super good, and being able to put themselves in the final round here to round out the season. It's going to be tough. It's going to be great. And before we go off, unless you have anything else to add, Jacob, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, a great race tonight from Kansas Speedway. I think we've talked everything we can talk. if you haven't watched tonight, make sure you go watch next week at Martinsville as we head to Martinsville, Virginia. It is going to be a action-packed race, as it always is, in the Sunday Night Showdown series.
All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Once again, thank you for joining us. I'm Oscar Jensen, joined by Jacob Sala, and hopefully we'll see you guys back next week for Martinsville.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in Victory Lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after checks are low. Count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving